Great. Continue. Great.
Hey, good morning. Guys up. Welcome. Good to see you all again. My book. That's what Aikido training is all about. It then becomes a metaphor for the way you act in life. I always said that you can never, this is your therapy on the mat. You can't hide on the mat. Your true self comes out on the mat. We sort of work, scrub, clean each other, purify each other in our training. So be a good partner, be the best partner you can be. But I want you all to focus on awareness, self-awareness when you're doing techniques. I see a lot of people not even looking at their partner. That's suicide. That's suicide. Why? Because what you do in training is what you do in reality. You have to hold yourself to account, keep your eyes on what's going on and be prepared. You know, most communication is actually nonverbal. 85% of communication is nonverbal. What? The way you carry yourself, the way you move, your actions, all these things. We've all got these biocomputers up here, they're analyzing. You have to put your mind in the right set, and that's what training does. Jonathan, please be seated. I focus a lot, again, I go over my theories, but training, begin correctly. Incorrectly. If you begin your mode, whatever the technique, whatever the objective, whatever your job, if you begin correctly, probability of success is enhanced dramatically. Why? Because you have a sequence. Normally, what we call syntax, order and sequence of doing things. It's very important to do those things. In order to do those things, you have to slow down initially on your learning. I'll give you an example. I've been working on a technique that just put the show on that. Okay, Shomanuchi Nikyo version, okay? Now, the initial motion, we're here. Now, my first motion on this is to come right here, to redirect. I get offline, I have my angle here, and I intercept the hand here, okay? That's the first motion. And until you get this, there's no use to go any further. You have to begin correctly to end correctly, okay? So what I want you to do is just, one partner here, you put this up here. What I'm doing is I'm changing my angle. You always have to change the equation. You don't want to be in front of someone. You always have to change their launch pad in an opposite direction of you. You want to be the non-target. And in order to effectively do the technique, I have to get out of harm's way, so I then can come here, go down, and come into here, or whatever damage I want to do. Okay? So let's practice that first movement. Do 5 times on each side and switch. Just the exercise sword, so to speak, here. What I want to do is change, he's the attacker, I need to change this vertical attack, okay? So I come out at this angle and take it right here. That's all you have to. The important thing is what? Because this is going to be the rudder. That's going to redirect eventually. But this is going to subsequate it here. So you have to have this and this together, and you have to add the angle. So then it's very easy to then come down and circumvent his arm. And, so please just
the beginning.
Yeah, just that first part now. In other words, if you get that first part, the rest of it's going to be very easy. Okay, take a few more minutes on that. Doing the technique now, here, I jump here, then I enter Tenkan, and at this point I'm just going to sweep the arm down, and then with the Nikyo. Okay. It's a very easy movement, basically, here. Okay. Give it a try, slowly. Very tight. Here, I come around here. I'm right beside him now. I don't want to be up here. Right, you still look good. Right, not good odds there. I don't want to be too far back. You can turn back into me. One of the biggest things you have to look out for is not being the architect of your own demise by too crafty movements or too fancy movements. Simplicity is the key to survival and self-defense. Simplicity, limited, less is more, basically, in this instance. Here, now, I just hold the position. So I'm turning everything this way, and I'm spiraling. I love these movements because they're spiral, spiral, spiral. And then I take all the slack out and what up we Okay. So take all the slack out, get your position matched. Again, slow down, take your time. It's perfect. It's like slow dancing. It's like slow. Okay. Well, here, if I'm doing when I turn, I keep him right in front of me, and I keep turning. That's where my power comes from, through uniting. I take that and then I unite with it and take it over. Make sense? Yes. Okay. Try little things. Because little things don't mean a lot, they mean everything. Little things mean everything. You cannot do, excuse my French, a half-ass grip and think that you've got Nikyo in place. That's not Nikyo, okay? You have to do proper technique. Well, if I do an Nikyo, I have Nikyo here, 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 here. Now I've got good position here. This hand comes around, takes the Nikyo. If I bring him up into a Nikyo, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing. You bring it in, it grips here and here. I'm telling you, if you can't get it with that, let me know, because that will help you. You have to do your techniques right, your basic grips, all these things. You have to analyze yourself, grade yourself and see how can I improve and enjoy the process. And it's tightening up these things. Awareness, we're here and he's holding me here. I have to be aware. I can't look here, look here. Floor's not going to change, except you might be down there if you don't look at it. You always have to have awareness, situational awareness, what's going on. You have to be alert. What's faster, action or reaction? Action. Action. You have to have mental action. You have to be proactive in your movement. If you don't believe me, go back and look at the old films of O Sensei and see who was attacking who. Don't wait for things to happen. Now, I'm not saying be the aggressor, but be prepared. I recommend that you plan to be a nanosecond ahead of everybody that you might encounter. Okay? Remember, never overestimate yourself and don't underestimate anyone. It's very important that you play, if you're playing checkers, play checker. If you're playing chess, play chess. Okay? Hold yourself to a high standard. On the Nikyo, basic That's how you see the grip. And you know how Sensei described this? He said, a Nikyo is like wringing a towel. Okay. Just practice the Nikyo exercise. I want to check the grips. You have to get yourself out of harm's way. This is in all instances. This holds true, no matter what you're doing. And so I've got to get out of this direct line of fire here. So what I'm going to do is change a little bit here. Yeah. Take this and turn this. Now when I turn, you see how I keep this to my body right in the center? I twist this here, my elbows are down, my shoulders are down. I've got my position. Now watch what I do with my body. Everything then is connected, and you have total immersion in that movement. So it's very important to incorporate all those factors, and you can only do that if you get, is that wrist up here? So here, I twist, here, but again, good position here. You don't want to be like this where you're open to a kick or his other hand here, but okay, so you have to be here. Once I've got this, he's done. Okay, try again, please. Like it. When you're doing the Nikyo, from here, here, here. So I establish my position here, and I don't expose myself. I just, whoops, I'm sorry, okay? Just take him to where I can control him. So I want to get out of harm's way, first and foremost. All right, thank you. Okay, let's try that for a few more minutes. In other words, put somebody in the movement and then walk into the momentum that you created with them. That's suicide, you know. So you always have to be cognizant. Obviously, action, reaction, something moves, something changes, you know. So we have to be attuned to that. So a good, say, exercise when I say, no, I move, I turn, and I come into bang. I don't want to do this. So when you do this exercise to develop how not to be caught with this, I enter here and turn. As he comes around here, I come up here. So you see how I slid out of the way as he was coming around. I don't want that force to meet. That force is coming here. I want to take it out here. Okay? So that's it. Here as he comes around. That's more a harsher throw, but he's just the right height for me to get that. So that was actually, but you know, you don't have to use the chin. The chin is, that's what I call my Mike Tyson. If you had to use something in the street, use that. You won't hurt your fist, and you'll probably knock the person out. It's a very strong type of blow. Okay, but be careful with it, obviously. So be careful. So the most important thing is not to be in front. Around on the side, this way, and obviously I can do whatever I need to do from there. Just practice the opening. Just turning and cut. If you want to throw down, you can throw down as well. I always generally use a lot of the teaming because I focus on the martial aspect in a lot of instances. But you have to know, at teaming, you have to know what you can do and what you can't do. You know, I've done a lot of different training, and it's hard on the hands, especially if you're not conditioned to do it. So what you don't want to do is hit somebody allegedly to save yourself and break your hand. As I said, the Navy SEALs, their motto is that the first one injured dies or loses. Okay, don't hurt yourself. That's why it's important to have this awareness all the time of what's around you, what forces you're putting in motion. And Aikido is how to deal with all those variables by flowing and not getting destroyed. That's what we're training for. You know, so it's very important that we keep those concepts in mind. On a teaming, and it varies widely in Aikido, but to do Aikido in a martial sense or a real sense, you have to use a teaming. It's part of Aikido. You know, in the samurai is one cut, one kill. One cut, one kill. So the technique should be get the job done. In essence, that's what your objective is, to be devastating in the movement. If I do Ikkyo, say I have an Ikkyo, here I do this. I come up here. First, I come in and take him in the field of the ribs, and then break his posture and destroy him. You know what I mean? Here, they're exposed in here. And I come in and break his posture. It works much better that way. If he holds cut down here, he is here. So what the first thing I do, if he's holding me here, I don't pull back like this and do anything to me. I change the equation, so I'm going to move out. And at that same time, I'm going to... Generally speaking, for general self-defense, I always would suggest using the palm when it's applicable. And that's normally to any type of front attack. Come up front, you just come right up. The center is like the uppercut in boxing. You don't see it, it's too late. Okay. So in any, so you have to move. You know, you convince the opponent they've got a flaw. It's up to you. Remember, a sell is always made. You're either a seller or a buyer. In this case, I'm selling. Okay, you have to be convicted in your motion. Now, you know, a lot of simple strikes would be if you go here, I can come here, then I can also come across with an elbow. Here, the elbow, you're not going to break your elbow in all probability if you hit somebody, but you might break their jaw. Elbows are very devastating. And also for close range, a knee, if I could cut, you're not going to hit it like that. That would end it right there. But I got position. Started correctly, I got position, and then I finished it. And again, remember, A to Z, unless it's otherwise specified, complete the techniques. A to Z. Why? What you do in reality is what you do in training. You want to be complete in your movement. Okay? Always finish. Tighten up, and then be doing any other problem that might come. Does anyone have any questions on anything? Like, you know, study Yoshikan, Aikido, very obvious and solid practitioners, but you talked about moving from the elbows. Okay, so in other words, yeah.
Camera's behind you.
Focus on the elbow when you're moving and keep your elbows in close to you. So what I'm doing, obviously I don't do kokudosa because of my knees, but actually this gives you a much better example because my objective is, obviously I'm taller than he is, my center of gravity is higher than his, right? I have to lower my center of gravity. Every movement I do, every movement Yamada Sensei, you lower your hips and come underneath here in a unified motion and create this effect. Get a partner and just try this cooperatively. Thank you. My objective is, so you're very strong. What I again, in watch, I'm always going to drift to his side. I don't want to be in front of his front foot. Okay, that's a danger zone. So I'm always shifting out of harm's way. But this is all, even one hand, it's all one hand. This is like basically both hands. That's the same motion that we're doing. Okay? Right?
Dominique, right? Continue, right?
Thank you very much. Great effort. Great job. You did very well. See you in next class.